Welcome back to NM's Arena. In this video, we are going to discuss the different measures of dispersion. Dispersion indicates the measure of the extent to which the individual items differ. It indicates the lack of uniformity in the size of items. It is the measure of variability, or we can say it is a spread. Dispersion, or another name is spread. It is a degree of the scatter or the variation of the variables about a central value. The extent of variability is measured by comparing the individual values of the variable with the average of all the values and then calculating the average of all the individual differences. That is what is called a measure of dispersion. Now let us discuss the classification of dispersion. It is classified into two as absolute measures and relative measures. Absolute measures of dispersion are expressed in the same units in which the data are collected. The absolute measures can be compared with one another only if the two belong to the same population and are expressed in the same units like kilograms, rupees, inches, etc. The absolute measures do not help us if the series are of different populations or units of measurement. In order to make them comparable, a measure of relative dispersion is needed by dividing the absolute measure of dispersion by a measure of central tendency like mean, median or mode. So, relative measures are also important. A relative measure of dispersion is the ratio of a measure of dispersion to an appropriate average from which these deviations are measured. So it is also called coefficient of dispersion. The relative measures are useful for comparing two series for their variability. Greater the value of relative measure of dispersion in the series, we can say that greater is the variability in that series. The important measures of dispersion will be discussed here now. These are the different measures of dispersion. The absolute measures are range, quartile deviation, mean deviation and standard deviation, and the relative measures are coefficient of range, coefficient of quartile deviation, coefficient of mean deviation and coefficient of variation. The range is the simplest measure of dispersion. It is the difference between the highest value and the lowest value of a series. That is called range. It is defined as the difference between the two extreme items of the distribution. So, range is the difference between the highest and the lowest values, and hence the formula is range is equal to H minus L, that is highest value minus lowest value. The relative measure corresponding to range is the coefficient of range, and it is obtained by the formula highest minus lowest value divided by highest plus lowest value. Now let us see the calculation of range. It is very easy to calculate range as it can be observed or inspected. Through observation or inspection, we can find range. See, in these values, we have to find the range using the formula highest value minus lowest value. The highest value here is 85 and the lowest value is 10. So the range is calculated as 85 minus 10, that is 75. Now let us see how the coefficient of range is calculated. Highest minus lowest value divided by highest plus lowest value. It is 75 divided by 85 plus 10, that is 95, and the answer is 0.79, that is the coefficient of range or the relative measure corresponding to range. Let us see what happens in the case of a discrete series. Here the wage is given and number of employers are also given. So this is a discrete series. Here also we have to apply the same formula, highest value minus lowest value. Here the highest value is 25 and the lowest value is 10. So we have to consider the x value and not the frequencies. We have to find the highest value and the lowest value of the individual items. 25 minus 10 is 15. And for finding the coefficient of range, highest minus lowest value divided by highest plus lowest value. 25 minus 10 is 15. 25 plus 10 is 35. So the answer is 0.43, which is the coefficient of range. The quartile deviation. The range is a crude measure because it takes into account only the extreme values, the largest value and the smallest value. The effect of these extreme values on range can be avoided if we use the quartile deviation. So the interquartile range is the difference between the first quartile and the third quartile, Q3 minus Q1. That is the interquartile range. And the interquartile range is not often used. The lower quartile Q1 and the upper quartile Q3 are considered here, and the values above Q1 and below Q3 are only considered in this case. So the extreme values are avoided. Thus, the extreme values at either end cannot influence the values of quartile deviation. It is only the middle half of the data which is needed for calculating the quartile deviation. If the data is scattered, then the interval between the two quartiles would increase. The interval between Q3 and Q1 would increase. Thus, the difference between the quartiles is used as a measure of dispersion. The quartile deviation gives the average amount by which two quartiles differ from median. And the coefficient of quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 by Q3 plus Q1. The quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 by 2. If it is said to find the quartile deviation, then it is half the distance between the third and the first quartile. Half the distance between the first and the third quartile. That is why it is divided by 2. Quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 by 2 and interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. The coefficient of quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. Let us see how it is calculated. In the case of an individual series, the values are given and we have to find the first quartile and the third quartile by using the formula that we have studied earlier in the other video. And the interquartile range is calculated as Q3 minus Q1. This 29 minus 10 and the answer is 19. And the quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 by 2. This is actually the quartile deviation. Q3 minus Q1 by 2. 29 minus 10 by 2. And the answer is 9.5. Next, the coefficient of range. So, the coefficient of quartile deviation. So that is Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. Just like in the range, here it is Q3 or quartiles. Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. That is 29 minus 10 by 29 plus 10. And the answer is 0.49. Suffer from the limitation that they are based on two values of a series. In the case of range, two extremes are taken into account. And in the case of quartile deviation, the Q1 and Q3 are taken into consideration. All the other values of the series are ignored. So we do not take into account all the items of the series, and this is the limitation. Due to this limitation, it is possible that the range of quartile deviation of the series may be identical, but their composition may be different. So, an ideal measure of dispersion must take into account all the items of the series and must be calculated from average. The measure which takes average into account for measuring dispersion can be called mean deviation or average deviation, and it will be a more ideal measure of dispersion. Here in this case, the formula is mean deviation is equal to sigma absolute value of d divided by n. The absolute value of d means they are ignoring the plus or minus signs while taking the deviation from the mean. Only the absolute values without considering the plus or minus signs are taken. And the coefficient of mean deviation is calculated for comparison. It is calculated by dividing the mean deviation by the average from which the mean deviation is computed. If the deviations are taken from mean, we will divide this mean deviation by mean. If the deviations are taken from mode, then it will be divided by mode. And if these deviations are taken from median, then we have to divide the mean deviation by median. So from this, it is understood that for coefficient of mean deviation, the mean deviation can be divided by mean, median or mode. So for this deviation, we may consider either mean or median or mode for finding the deviation of all other values from this calculated value. See how the calculation of mean deviation is done in the case of an individual series. See, if these x values are given, we have to find either mean or median or mode from these x values. In this question, let us see how it is done from median. If the median has been found as 44, then each of these values have to be subtracted from 44, and the absolute value of d has to be found. Whether we get a minus sign or positive sign, we have to put it as positive. Say 5 minus 44, that is 39. 25 minus 44 is 19. 28 minus 44 is 16. Whether it is plus or minus, we have to take the absolute value. And then all the values are found out as this. And then we have to apply the formula. Mean deviation from median is equal to sigma absolute value of d by n. That is 321 by 11. This 321 is the sum of these values. It is the sum of absolute value of d. And the answer is 29.18. And then the coefficient of mean deviation from the median. Since we have calculated this mean deviation from median, we have to divide the mean deviation by median. This 29.18 divided by median 44, that is equal to 0.66. Suppose if we had calculated this with the mean, we had calculated the deviations from the mean value, then here we would have taken mean. Or if we had calculated it from mode, then mean deviation divided by mode while calculating the coefficient. The concept of standard deviation was introduced by Carl Pearson in 1893. The mean deviation has its own demerits. So, to overcome the limitations of the mean deviation, standard deviation was introduced. It is an important member of the family of the measures of dispersion. Its main purpose is to overcome the problem of mean deviation ignoring the plus and minus signs as in the calculation of it. So here what they are doing is they're squaring all these values to avoid the plus and minus signs. By squaring operation, the deviations from the mean will not give a zero sum, but a positive number, and each deviation will contribute to the sum of squares regardless of sign. Then, in order to compensate for the squaring of the deviations, the square root is taken. Thus, the standard deviation is the square root of the mean of the squares of deviations of all values of a series from their arithmetic mean. And the coefficient of variation is also found as standard deviation divided by mean into 100. In order to compare the variability in two or more series, this relative measure is calculated. It is called coefficient of standard deviation or coefficient of variation. Now let us see how the calculation of standard deviation is done. Suppose this is an individual series. The x values are given. We have to find the x square. Instead of taking the deviations, we have to find the square to avoid the plus and minus signs. So each x value is squared to get the x square. And then the formula is applied. Square root of sigma x square by n minus sigma x by n whole square. This is the formula to find the standard deviation. Square root of sigma x square by n minus sigma x by n whole square. Now, the sigma x square, that is the sum of these values, is 560. That is taken and that is divided by 10, that is n, number of items. Then minus 70, that is sigma x. Sum of these values is 70 and the number of items is again 10, and that is also squared, which gives us the value as square root of 56 minus 49, that is equal to square root of 7, that is equal to 2.646. Next, we have to find the variance, or that is the standard deviation square. So 2.646 square, that is equal to 7. So variance is 7. Next is the coefficient of variation, that is standard deviation by mean into 100. And the answer is 37.8. Now in the case of discrete series or the continuous series, the formula includes the f values also. The frequency also included in the formula. So square root of sigma fx square by n minus sigma fx by n whole square. This f gets included in the formula in the case of discrete as well as the continuous series. Now let us see how this calculation is done. See, the x values are given as a continuous series and the frequency is also given. Now the calculation is done by finding the mid values of x. The mid value of each class interval is found first, then fx is calculated. Fx means this frequency into mid value. 2 into 1 is 2, 4 into 3 is 12. Like that, fx is calculated. Then the x square is calculated. The square of these values. And then fx square. F into x square. This column values into corresponding values of this column. F into x square. And then the totals are taken and it is put in this formula. See, this is equal to 1272. This is the sigma fx square. See, sigma fx square is put here divided by n. N is the total frequency, that is 24, and then sigma sigma fx is 156. So that is put here according to the formula and divided by n, that is 24. And then it is calculated, we'll get square root of 53 minus 42.25 and the final answer is 3.28. This is the standard deviation calculation in continuous series. Now this is the end of the video. The video has explained the various measures of dispersion in detail. Thank you for watching the video. For more videos, you may subscribe this channel.